Welcome to the No Hangover podcast.
You can check us out on all our platforms: Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, Anchor, YouTube, Spotify, now with video. Our social media platforms: Instagram at No Hangover Podcast and TikTok _hangover. Enjoy.
We're just in story time. We're recording already. Remember spring break time, senior year. I got to take this monitor down. I can't see you guys as well.
That's fine.
Pretty short.
That was just a...
I remember senior year, I bought a bottle of 151. Well, I didn't buy it, but...
What? You were drinking underage?
I sure was.
Oh, my gosh.
Come get me, coppers.
Blasphemy.
10-year...
coming through the roof.
10-year...
we got him.
What is it called?
10-year high
Statute
school
of limitations, I think.
Yeah, you're good to go. They ain't gonna say shit.
But it was going through a bottle of 151.
God damn. I don't remember the first time I got drunk, honestly. Oh, no, I take that back. I remember vividly the first time I got drunk. I got fucked up.
Is that the first time you got drunk?
Ave Maria?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Wow.
Wow.
I had like...
Wow.
I've been drunk many times before.
Yeah, no. I mean... Yeah, no, that was probably the first time I got like... Okay, well, maybe not the first time I got drunk, but that's the first time I got like belligerently like fucked up.
You were drinking to get more drunk.
Yeah. So I had like... This is all before we left to go to downtown Fort Myers. I had like 7 shots of Jack, like 2 or 3 beers, was drinking fucking vodka, Ciroc, like mixing like a motherfucker.
It's all right. It just hit. That's all.
And then kept on drinking, and then drank some more. And then by 2:30, me and Jordan were sitting on a bench.
Testing, still good.
And I looked to the side of me, saw a trash can, looked back at Jordan, looked back at the trash can, and stuck my head in there and did not stop throwing up until about 12 o'clock the next day in the afternoon. Well, I guess that same day, but 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Noon.
Threw up. Like, it was a 45-minute ride back to the campus. Threw up all over, like, going down the highway. Got all over the side of the car, like, literally just sticking my head out. Actually, my contact picture with me and Jordan is me fucked up like this and Jordan taking a picture.
Is that night?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, man. Good times.
Me and Jacob don't have one.
Good fucking times.
What?
Don't have a... Oh, I guess we couldn't use that one.
I have one with you.
The most recent one.
That was actually reverse of... Usually it's...
Yeah, that's not how it usually goes.
I'd be fucked up in this situation. No.
I was the one. That was a good night. That was a fun night.
It was a fun
I cut loose.
Yeah, he did. Dennis had a fucking good ass time. But I think what it was not only was it a fun night.
I had not eaten.
That, and then we also stayed out. You know, we basically closed the clubs and then went to the after hours.
Yeah. Went to the after hours at like 2.
Yeah, I think we pulled up at like 3 something and didn't leave for like another hour. Or something.
No, because we got back here at like 5:30.
Yeah,
so is that when you woke up and you were still drunk? And
I woke up at 6 because Israel woke me up.
Get the fuck up.
I had slept for 30 minutes.
And I went to work. I had to drive all the way to, I think I was working in like Windermere or something too.
I was definitely the more fucked up out of the 3 of us.
For sure, but that was a rough day for me. That was a rough day. There's only been like, I think only twice in my life where I've gone to work so tired and so fucked up where I was like, Jesus, please. Help me. Help me, please.
I definitely, and it's cliche to say it like, or whatever.
Throw up once.
I definitely had the moment, I think it was freshman year of college, where it was like the cliche, like, oh, please, I'll never drink again. Just let me fucking, just take the pain away right now. I had, this is a good story. I can say it now. Me and my dog Lamp went downtown. I was 18.
18 disguised as the 25-year-old self.
They like snuck me into it. It was me and a few other like of our mutual friends. They like snuck me into a bar as like, oh, it's his birthday. Like,
plus you had the fucking beard of a fucking 40-year-old man, anyways.
Right. So they're like, hey, let's go. And then one guy was like really belligerently drunk already with us, and he's buying the Hurricanes, the red thing.
You guys go to like Chillers or fucking
Margaritaville and the Dueling Pianos. We were in not downtown. We were in City Walk. And he's like, here, I'm getting your tab, because it was like the first time we had really met and hung out, and he thought I was hilarious for some reason. I'm not funny, but he was drunk, so
Could be situationally funny.
yeah, I guess. And he's like,
Eric thinks everybody's funny, so
yeah, he gives me a drink, and I'm like, all right, thanks, man. And I start drinking, and he's like, drink it faster. And he like grabs the bottom of it, and he like tips it, and I have to like chug an entire hurricane
or get it spilled on you.
And he's like, more.
Oh God.
Another.
Did it like 4 or 5, maybe more than that, in like a 20-minute span, just throwing them down. And then that next morning, because we had to go do something, I was out of it.
You're like, I will not be doing it.
Yeah, I was. I like.
Count me out.
This is gonna sound real disgusting, but like a trash can wasn't gonna suffice. A toilet wasn't gonna suffice. I was like bathtub, like.
Oh my God! Just fucking.
Like laying on the ground over the bathtub.
I was about to say, you're just fucking marinating.
No. I wasn't in the bathtub. I was laying on the ground, and I didn't want to aim. I didn't want to because I was gonna fuck up the toilet anyway. Like, I would have had to clean it up. So I'm like, let me just get a bigger toilet. Like,
oh my God.
I kept the water running. And I just laid my head on the thing, and then every time I had to, I just.
I'm not proud of this, but it was a funny time, which. We're supposed to record that day. When y'all picked me up from downtown that one time, when I fully had...
And you were just laying on the garage fucking floor, just fucking chilling.
Yeah. It's because I got fucking, once you start throwing up, once you start getting sick, you get hot. So, before I threw up, I already had planned, I was wearing my boots. I was like, nope, take these off. I put them in my car. I took off my shirt. I think I took off my watch, put it in the car, and I was like, all right.
Phone as well.
Yeah, I put everything away because I was like,
because we couldn't reach you.
I was like, I'm fucked up. I was like, I'm gonna just sit here for a minute, just try to sober up. And then that went, sat there for 2-3 minutes. Was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm gonna do it right here. Yeah. Just started fucking throwing up everywhere.
Yeah, and then we pulled up, and you were laying next to your throw up like it was a masterpiece. Look
yeah, it was a little bit.
Look at this.
It was right next. It was like
your face when you turned around.
I was like, hey guys,
you were like, my friends are here.
I remember vividly. I remember vividly seeing y'all getting so excited, they found me.
There was this random.
Eric was so bad. He was like, "What the fuck, man?"
There was this random person just sitting there making sure that we came and picked you up.
It was this construction worker actually.
Yeah, he picked up the phone. He was like,
"Yeah," because I had.
He was like, "You're gonna have to come get your boy."
Yeah, I put my phone on my because I put my phone on my hood. So I'm laying on my car, leaning back, on the front fender tire area, and I just put my phone behind me. So I heard it vibrate, but I was like, I can't get it.
It's too much.
Oh man,
it's too much.
And the dude had asked me a bunch of times, "You good, bro?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just too drunk to drive."
I'm just fucked up.
I was like, "Just give me a minute. I'm just too drunk to drive."
Oh man, good times.
Yeah, funny story.
Yeah,
drunk times.
All right, y'all want to get into some
that was a good story time.
Crazy shit.
Back to the episode. 152, guys.
Yeah.
We out here.
Very exciting.
Make it clap.
Go home.
We're gonna redo that. Cut that. Queer. Goodness gracious.
And we're back.
We're back with 152.
Oh man.
The laughs, the vibes are going. It's
the timing is impeccable.
The most edited episode of the first 5 minutes you'll ever hear.
Bow. Anyways, some crazy news going on in the good old United States.
Where are we starting?
Let's start off with the trumpet. Fuck it.
The trumpet.
Don.
Good old Donald.
Big T.
Well, he's got street cred now, for real.
Yeah. Donald Trump was indicted.
34 felony counts, dog.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Nope.
Oh, I mean, he was at the fucking
UFC.
He was in Miami chilling.
Listen, still doesn't mean it's looking good for his.
He looked like he was fucking.
He had no worry in his eye.
He was like, I'm fucking good to go. He didn't give a fuck. But I mean, I guess when you're in Miami, you kind of, that's the vibe that you get.
Everyone was really most people were real excited to go up to him and talk to him. He seemed like he was welcome, and because you always worry about stuff like that. I remember when he showed up to the national championship I think right after he won in 2017, he showed up to the Tampa one. It was Alabama Clemson, I think, and the reception was not the best. But there it was he was getting love.
I'd be surprised there wouldn't be a good reception for him.
Yeah, Miami.
I'm just saying, Florida, down south, sports crowd.
Yeah, but Miami is
Bama fans, I would expect.
That's what I'm saying.
Bama and Clemson fans, I would both expect to be Trump fans.
Yeah, I thought they would be freaking
no,
diehards.
but Miami has a. I mean, fucking what's his name? Masvidal. I mean, a whole bunch of Cubans.
Yeah.
Like fucking, they're pro.
He won the Spanish vote in Florida.
Yeah. So I mean, that's fucking loads of Spanish people in Miami. So it makes sense. I wasn't surprised. I just thought it was.
We're not even talking politically. We're literally just talking like.
I just thought it was funny that he was showing. Like, it was just so random. Like, why the fuck is Donald Trump?
I saw it first, and you guys like didn't react.
It's just like, why is he at a fucking UFC?
I was like, no shit, Donald Trump, and you guys are like, what'd he do now? And I was like, he's on TV.
He's on TV.
Look. He's right fucking there.
There he is. It's like seeing a unicorn.
Well, because it was like he's literally like out of a sketch. He's not a real like person. Like the choices that he makes, like. He's like, I'm just going to show up to the UFC event. And then they show him on TV, and you're like, this is like a Comedy Central sketch.
It's even crazier.
That the president or the former president of the United States is just like at the front row.
Front row sitting between fucking Dana White and Mike Tyson.
Like,
and Kid Rock was there
like
too.
The company that was around them is just like, what the fuck?
I'm looking for the Simpsons episode that predicted that one.
Because that shit, it was just crazy. But like good old Eric here was saying, he is facing 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. And side note, it's on this, but I just think it's interesting how the government. This is just old things. Some would call it conspiracy theories. Some, whatever. Trump is facing all these, right? 34 felony counts.
Yeah.
Is Hunter Biden?
Yeah, I heard
never gonna get arrested for it.
Correct.
Pretty much.
That shit's wild.
Well, one was the president.
Yeah.
The what?
Well, one of them was the president.
True, but it's just like in the circumstances leading up to.
No, I get you. Like
Joe Biden's election and all that.
Both of them probably broke the law.
I mean, really, if we're going down like any
political,
they've probably all broken the law.
Say any political figure more than off.
Not to cut you off, like when people were like, I know we're gonna get to him. People were like, he's using campaign funds for hush money.
No shit.
It's like, well, one, like we can't prove that. I mean, I guess they can. I guess they found something that they can
try.
Yeah.
But
two, but like, and like, listen, just like I'll put my view. Like, I don't like the guy, like politically, like. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but who gives a fuck, honestly, that he tried to pay off a fucking porn star for not running her mouth? Like,
correct.
Seems fucking legit to me.
That sounds like a politician.
I was saying the same
we've
thing.
seen this forever. Politician cheats on wife with.
I mean, fucking Bill Clinton was getting sucked up in the Oval Office.
Yeah,
I feel like that was just like a bravo moment for most people. It was like, oh shit, like that's pretty fucking cool.
Well, it was big. It was controversial at the time, and
yeah.
now everyone looks back and goes, "That was funny."
Nice,
and good for Bill.
Yeah, they were like, oh, he can't be the president now. They had to, get him out of office quick, but.
Well, his term was up.
Luckily,
it was the last 6 months.
Plus, I also feel like
they were trying to impeach him though.
Yeah, he would have been the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I feel like now that kind of Hillary Clinton is kind of like we all know what she is. People feel kind of like sympathetic towards that situation. It's like Bill Clinton having to deal with Hillary.
Yeah. Since then, Hillary has become a much less favorable to most people. Some people have become bigger Hillary fans, but I think for most part,
I think that's more by like default though than. The fact that they actually
I think most people though have looked at Hillary and have been like,
I mean, I feel like it
suck.
I feel like it's a lot of things with politicians, and it's just I feel like it's the system itself.
Yes, they all suck.
Like them, that they all do suck, but also somebody staying in office or staying in politics for 40 years.
Yeah,
like how do they think that's a good
idea?
It's
just like a cushy job. It becomes, you just kind of
but then you
get grandfathered into shit.
Correct, and that's where it's bullshit because like they get grandfathered in. They're not changing their views on anything. They're not, going with, or the ones that do change their views. That's even worse. Cause
the thing is that it's not even about changing views. They're getting paid off by big companies to pass laws. So then those big companies get tax exemptions. Don't have to do this. They could just do whatever the fuck they want. And most people have a price.
Yeah.
And the people that when you get into office and shit like that, like they're not the most morally sound people, like already. So then you just fucking throw dollar bills in their faces, like, oh, bet, like I'll shut the fuck up if you just continue to pay me off.
The whole system is broken. Going off what Jacob's saying, like to choose a career in politics is like that's to me like You're inviting a certain type of human, because you look at a politician's job, like the pay is nice, the
benefits are
amazing. Nice,
yeah.
the work schedule's pretty easy, and these people take so many days off and stuff like that. So people stay in this career as long as they can. I think we should go back to the Roman, like the gladiators and stuff like that, when they just elected somebody to be, like, they chose amongst themselves. Like, there was no campaigning for it. They picked somebody to be the leader of the free world. And it turned out to end poorly, because, like, Caesar, and then he just became a dictator. And
yeah, I mean, and that's
slaves.
That's the thing with. Eventually, once
I don't have the answers.
Yeah, once you get to a certain, like, where we are as a country, you get to a certain power, like, people are pulling strings behind the scenes and manipulating, and the way that media is now, like, it really, you're kind of fucked if you do and kind of fucked if you don't. Like, there's no winning in this situation, because at the end of the day, people are going to be people, and people naturally have a lot of negative fucking traits and a lot of fucking, looking out for myself and looking out for my best interest, which, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you're trying to govern a whole fucking country with millions of people and trying to keep their best interest, or you're supposed to be keeping their best interest in mind, and you don't, and then that's where, we get to how we are right now.
Well, the idea of politics, at least like when it was always taught to, like, me as a child, about how your elementary, I went to Eastbrook Elementary, how your elementary schools did it, but it was always like the government is like a checks and balances system. Yeah. Like, we have, like, local government, like your city council, your stuff like that, and then you have the state level government, then you have, your government from the states that's regarded in Washington, like the Senate and Congress and stuff like that.
Representatives and shit.
Representatives from your state, and then they have the presidency, which is also checked and balanced by all the two others. Like, it was supposed to be like that. Like, it feels now that people think that the way of the country goes by whoever is the man sitting in that seat, and that's just not how that works.
Yeah, they put too much reliance on the federal government, forgetting all about the state government, your local officials, like the people who are making laws and policies for your area, which is, your, like you said, your mayors, your fucking
But I mean, that kind of goes into,
like, if you want more money into your local education, like, you can go, like, campaign for that stuff, and kind of maybe it gets put on a bill, and maybe they bring it up to Congress and stuff like that. Having this, like, one swipe fix all type of president.
But I mean, that feeds into our, what this is now. We're a headline country. We fucking read the headlines, go for the fucking big splash. There is not a lot of fucking nuance in this country as far as, like, a lot of shit now. I mean, you could go in any type of media, whether it's like pop culture, sports, like anything. A lot of it is, what's the splashy headline? What's going to catch eyes? What's going to make people click on this? And, fuck the little stuff, like the little nuances that, make this possible. All that shit's fucking out the window.
We paint in broad strokes in this country.
Yep.
And, like, people, like, get this false information, like, false idea in their minds that, like, oh, I'm going to vote this person president and they're going to fix my life. Yeah. Like,
wrong.
Like, wrong. They might be doing things that it's going to alleviate, what's best for your state. Yeah. And maybe your state is doing things that might alleviate, make things best for your city. But that's like a trickle-down effect. Yeah. Like, you need to focus on what you can control.
A lot of what ifs.
Yeah, and just because, like, all right, Joe Biden's the president. Like, that doesn't mean, or, like, let's take names out of it. A Republican is the president or a Democrat's the president. Doesn't mean that the Congress or the Senate is going to be in that same, like, just because a Democrat is the president doesn't mean the other two are going to be Democrats.
Yeah, it doesn't always.
It usually works the opposite way. It usually works as, like,
it doesn't line up exactly the way.
Like, you get two of the three.
Fucking politics, bro. Fuck them.
And that's going off of, we don't have to say names per se, but Republicans or Democrats. One of the things, like, that I always thought was interesting, which I'm sure we've all heard it the past fucking 6 years at this point, of when someone wins the election, right? They're a big group of people. Oh, that's not my president. That's the dumbest fucking shit I have ever heard. I don't care what side you're on.
You cannot like the guy, but that is the president.
That is such a stupid.
You're not my dad.
That's such a stupid statement.
You're not my dad.
And, like, it goes both ways, because, like, Trump supporters, when Joe Biden won, oh, that's not our president, blah blah, and vice versa when Trump won. No, I mean, he's not my president.
It was just a vicious cycle.
Everybody was fucking crybabies about the thing.
Both times, it was a vicious cycle. Like, everything that you saw that the left was hating about what the right was doing. during Trump's administration was, oh my God. But then when it switched, and now everything that the Biden administration doing, and they're fucking hating it, whatever, or the Republicans are hating it and all that shit, and now it's just like it literally just flip flop.
Yeah, I mean, literally how how Jacob's talking about, like how they became president. Like Donald, like I think we all saw, like we weren't like were you guys living together at the time? 2016.
Yeah,
I was not like around you guys as much that back. I was still in college. But, like, I saw what was going to happen 2016 night. Like, I was like, I've been outside. Like, there's a lot of Donald Trump supporters.
Oh, yeah.
People think that this is going to be a landslide for Hillary, or, like, you haven't been outside. Like, you live in New York, and that's a very blue state. Or you live in D.C., which is very blue. But and then that night happened, and then everybody in the world is like, you know, Russians. You know, they hacked this. It's like, okay, bro.
it was really the same storyline, the same plot.
We did the same. We said that's what I was getting to. Like, all right, Russians. All right, cool. Fast forward to 2020, Joe Biden wins, and then stop the count, which all time fucking.
Oh shit! That's gonna go down in history.
That's an all timer. Like, not to make fun of anybody,
history.
but like anybody who's saying like, oh, he has he's winning in votes right now, so stop counting. It's like. What basketball game stops in the third quarter? Like, we've got the lead. Walk off the court.
We're done.
We're up. Let's get out of here.
Oh man!
And then as soon as it turned the other way and Joe Biden won, throughout the night it was like Russians, like
someone's fucking.
Let's rush the Capitol. It's like,
bro.
Oh,
that was some crazy shit too.
It's just like everyone's in bed with somebody too. They're all fucking like. Republicans are in bed with the Russians. The Democrats are in bed with the Chinese. Like they're all fucking backdooring shit and doing this and that and making deals and doing all this shit. Like
that's how they're politicians.
That's politics. That is literally politics.
That is the definition of the job title. Like I watched JFK recently. Like I rewatched JFK recently. I was telling you about this, and I absolutely love that movie. But the movie JFK is like presenting the case of
okay.
Yeah. It is presenting the case of like the American government may have had John F. Kennedy killed, and like it may have been an inside job by the government. Pretty irresponsible, like dangerous kind of filmmaking, but it is nice and provocative and a great movie.
Yeah.
But like ever since JFK, like the real life story in 1960, like we have had this seed of doubt put in our heads that we question everything, that the government can't what is happening can't be real. Like, the government has to be behind it, like, fucking me on something. Like, since Vietnam, like, we went to Vietnam and people were like, no, like, this is the government's fault. Like, I was put there by them. This is their fault. And every time since then, we can't fucking stop. We have to blame somebody else.
Fucking, I was watching Jason Bourne last night. That movie is kind of the same kind of thing. Yeah. I was watching the last one. I watched all three of them like in like the
not
last,
not the last one. There's 5 of them now.
Oh yeah, with fucking Jeremy Renner's actually in it.
And then Matt Damon came back for one, I think.
Did he?
What? There's 5 of them.
Legacy.
Oh yeah,
I know
that's right.
I have all 4. There's a 5th one.
I'm pretty sure Matt Damon
there's
came
one,
or he is coming back.
There is one with Jeremy Renner in it that he's the Bourne guy, but
I've never watched that.
I watched it.
So you have the 4.
It's on Netflix.
The 4 Matt Damon ones.
Yeah.
So there's a 4th one that you have 1, 2, 3, and 5.
The 4th one is the one with Jeremy Renner, which was not a good movie. I watched it on the fucking site. But it's the same thing. I mean, there's just like a fuck ton of corruption. And like, again, to my point, like once you like, especially nowadays with how easy information moves, how much transaction there is, communication between people, how easy it is. Like, and again, just the nature of people. It's bound to happen. All this corruption, people trying to make deals for themselves and enrich themselves. There's so much money going around now, switching hands. Like, that's just the fucking reality of our world.
And the internet has probably made it.
It was Born Legacy. That's the one you guys were talking about.
Yeah. And the internet has probably made it more accessible for those things to be done. Mm-hmm. Like, think about how politics had to be done in like the 1950s. Like, they had to fly across, like
Morse
between
code.
countries. Yeah, or that. But if they didn't want a paper trail, they had to fly across, land in an airport where they're secured, where there was no photos being taken, no civilians. Have a secret meeting, have a deal written up but not written on paper, and then go back and then execute
Verbal
things across.
agreement.
Yeah, like politics back then was probably way more of like a strategy of like knowing your opponent, knowing everybody in the room, knowing how they're gonna go. Like nowadays,
it's all the same though. Knowing dirt on your opponent, throwing dirt on your opponent.
Nowadays, everybody is just so out in the open. Like it's probably like, in some aspects, it's probably easier because like you look at politics and now like just because of your color, red or blue, like I know how certain senators are just gonna vote because.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and to your point too. I mean, the Hunter Biden shit. Like, if that was 50, 60 years ago, I mean that like a lot of that shit would be frowned upon. Like now it's just like, all right, well, president's son is smoking crack and fucking hookers. Like fucking whoop.
But I mean, it goes bigger. Like
he probably did worse stuff.
And not to be like conspiracy theorist again, but like I'm sure there's way worse shit that
if
never
that's
comes
the stuff
to light.
We know.
Yeah, no,
like
for sure.
There's way worse shit, and I'm sure like plenty of deals. And like we all said, that people are working with other people. Like this whole shit with Ukraine, Russia, all of that might be on this supposed laptop, whatever. That it was like Biden's administration that when asked about the laptop, they're like, we have no idea where it is, and they're like, you're the FBI agent that took it into custody. You don't know where it is. And there was a guy, questioning him about it. And the guy's like, no, I have no idea where it is. The guy's like, I know you don't, because I have it. He's like, and basically just made them look like stupid, like going around in circles. And he was
they
like,
didn't lie.
He was like, we've had
bright
it.
note.
He was like, we've had it. Yeah, fucking, and it just shows like information can go anywhere. Like these people could have anything. They could do pretty much anything.
Do we want to get into real big conspiracy theories since
Yes.
we're on the topic?
Yes.
I've got one that I've been kicking around for the last like few months. How many of these fuckers actually went to Epstein Island?
Oh, bro.
Probably all of them.
Well, I mean,
It's so fucking.
we know
gross.
fucking
I'm
Bush,
positive.
We know
Clinton,
Bush and Clinton.
for sure.
I'm sure Trump. I'm sure Joe Biden at some point. I don't think Obama. Or anything,
Yeah, Barack was the only one that hasn't. It seems to not be kicked
I wouldn't
around.
think he would have went.
I think he knew how big the microscope was on him, like from an early age of his political career.
Yeah.
Not saying he hasn't done things. That, like,
Yeah, I mean,
Everyone's got
He
dirt.
was blowing
Everyone's
people
got
up
dirt.
for fun. It seemed like he was just fucking.
he was also the president.
sending fucking drones and shit. Just boom.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's all.
Bin Laden.
but like that's
We got him.
yeah. So it's all forgiven. But that's just the thing that's been gnawing at me. Like, because I saw the documentary and it was kind of like I like the documentary. It's compelling. Like they do a lot of evidence. Like, and they definitely have a narrative that they're trying to get you to believe throughout the documentary. But with the amount of evidence they have and the amount of the people that they have speaking about it, you're like, all right, like, accurate probably.
How many people really went? But I'm sure, like.
But sorry, last thing. But like, how many people? Like they try and paint it as like Donald Trump went. Like they use Donald Trump's picture a lot in the documentary, and then when they go through the flight logs that they have collected, like his name's not on there. Like, did he go there? Probably with the list of connected people between them. Like,
well, they had. I mean, they had Bill Clinton on there like 40-some.
Bill's on
times.
it a lot on the one that's in the documentary.
Yeah.
You see his name written on there, and then there's photos of them together. Like
they were buddies.
I mean,
they knew each other. They're associates, close associates at the very least.
Yeah, I would say like when it comes into certain people and like that much money and like you're talking about.
But that's grossness.
You're talking about an island, though. I'm saying like besides like what we know to be Epstein Island,
right?
Like,
they could have just been gone.
It could have been just like, this is millionaires. Like this is what they do.
They just hang out.
We travel to fucking private islands. It didn't all. I'm not saying they all necessarily
That's fair.
got down with like the same shit Epstein was doing.
Right.
But I'm sure they were all in groups or all in a certain island together.
But at a certain point, they have to know what's going on.
Well,
but that's the thing. I'm sure they knew, but it's like
that doesn't necessarily assume guilt.
It kind of doesn't like. From a political standpoint and just from like normal humans. I mean, there's people that do some shady shit sometimes where you know them and you're like, they're not a bad guy. Like they do some fucked up shit. Now that's different because like I don't see how you could turn a blind eye to it.
It's how much they know and how much they were involved
Correct.
is the question. Like in the Epstein, the girls were talking about, and I don't remember. I have to go rewatch it, but I don't remember them ever saying like for sure that they served a president, a sitting president.
Yeah.
I don't think they say that in the documentary that any of those 4 or 5 girls that they have ever done that.
Yeah.
But they said there were like 30s, maybe hundreds of girls throughout this 10-year thing. the conspiracy part of it that I find way more interesting is like, have you seen this thing that people believe? And I think Rogan has talked about it even, that like he was a CIA informant.
Epstein.
Oh,
I mean, it's possible.
That they had this on him, and that he was like to get everybody from the top down.
I mean, that's like Saddam Hussein. Fucking.
Yeah, there's that theory as well.
I mean, he was Which one was the president of Iraq? Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
Okay. That's go great. He worked for the CIA.
Yeah.
Before he was the president, and then like, for instance,
He defected.
There's a conspiracy theory and kind of like factual evidence of that why the U.S. invaded Iraq was over oil.
Yeah.
Like people,
Iraq didn't attack us.
Yeah, no. They just said it was for. It was what was it called?
The thing that's forgotten about the 9/11 attacks.
What?
Is that they were from Saudi Arabia.
Let's see.
Bro, fuck. People are so fucked up, bro. People are so fucked up.
We just literally, and this shows our ignorance. Like, we were just literally like,
though.
It's fucking over there somewhere.
Yeah. Real shit, though. Real shit. I mean.
But it was like
Iran, Afghanistan.
It was
we
literally
invaded all those countries.
It was 1 month
Kuwait.
after Iraq started selling. It's because they basically did to go into. I'll kind of segue it into our next topic.
Okay, cool.
But to go into like, Iraq started switching from U.S. dollars to euros.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1 month they sold 3 billion barrels of oil for 23 billion euros, which would have been U.S. dollars, but instead it was euros.
Helps their economy.
That was February. March, boom, we're invading
the war.
We're George Bush makes the thing.
Yeah.
We're starting this.
You have 24 hours to exit the premises. That whole speech.
Boom. We invade Iraq. Like that. What's it over? Oil. What's it over? Money.
Money, bro.
I mean,
What ties into what's going to happen very soon? Russia, China, Brazil, India. Like the list goes on and on. Argentina,
they're
fucking.
just trying to
have you
devalue.
seen? Yeah, you've seen the union of all those countries that
They're
all
trying to devalue our dollar. I mean,
It's not just that they're trying to value it. They already are.
Yeah.
It's already done.
China just backed out, and they were the biggest one.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna get real. Like,
It's just gonna get scary soon.
it's gonna get real hairy.
Besides money and oil, another reason like China and the U.S. might be in war very soon is over
opium.
Not opium. That kind of threw me way off. Where'd you get opium from?
That's what they have. That's their biggest supplier.
Export?
Like poppy
their-
seeds and shit. Yeah, yeah. You
That's,
didn't know that?
that's our whole.
Bro,
that's our
in-
whole medicine.
In Vietnam, there was like armed U.S. soldiers like guarding the poppy fields, and that's how you get opium. And that was a big thing.
That's the
at
to
that
do.
time.
That's
Yeah.
why people think that China and the United States will never actually go to war, is because of the money trade that happens between
them.
for the drugs.
Well, I was gonna say the reason like supposedly that they might go to war sooner than later is over Taiwan.
Yeah.
How China has always wanted Taiwan. Like they've been saying that they've made it known they wanted to invade Taiwan. And the same thing with like Russia invading Ukraine. Before Russia invaded Ukraine, they had all of their military set up, all their tanks already set up.
Yeah, people knew for a month.
And people were like, "Oh," and Russia's like, "Oh no, we're not going to invade them." People already knew they were going to get invaded. So then the same thing is happening right now. China has all of their tanks, all of their military set up. So the U.S. just sent over, I'm pretty sure it was a couple naval vessels.
because they're on the port.
Yeah, we're all over the Taiwan, basically saying, like, we see what you're doing.
Cuban Missile Crisis.
Don't try to do this shit just like Russia did. Do not try.
We'll fuck around and find out. Like,
And basically, it's going to happen. So if that...
Because there's been a growing confidence in American military that, like, because for a while the fear was always China's got so many fucking people. Like, if they go to war, and they're intelligent and they have money, like, if we go to war, like, might not be our ass, but we're in for a dogfight.
Yeah.
There's been a growing, like, confidence that China may not be in a great military position as much as we would have originally thought.
Yeah.
That the United States, with how advanced we are militia-wise, that we would just maybe not walk the dog on them, but, like, let them know what's what. And China can't afford to lose to the United States.
No. But the thing that's scary is it wouldn't be just China.
No.
It'd be China.
Because we'd get South America, and then we'd really test that alliance with how much that those, not only Mexico, who is our neighboring to the south and holds the most important border
in
the planet.
Another thing that Joe Biden's doing that don't know if we necessarily agree with. Joe Biden on the low has made another alliance with Canada and Mexico.
He's doing the North American Trade Agreement, the NATO,
which is basically kind of
NATO's
shitting on the not the declaration, but it's shitting on some fucking act we've had in state for like ever. It's basically shitting on that, like completely like, gonna get rid of it, and basically like we're one. North America will become one instead of God, that got me.
It's a good device.
I was like, oh shit! I hit it. I was like, oh,
testing it.
But
I mean,
the durability.
Politically aside, whether that violates some things that we've done in our past, we have to start aligning ourselves correctly with people across the world. We can't just think that we're just gonna invade other countries, kick them to the curb, and be like, "What? Like we're the shit."
Yeah, shit's not like that anymore.
Like the Middle
people
East
are catching up. People are catching up to us.
Yeah, the Middle East doesn't like us for obvious reasons. There's been a past there that it's collecting as many of those countries to be on your side as you can at this point, though. Like, we're not going to get Saudi Arabia. We're not going to get Iran. But if we can get Iraq, Afghanistan.
Man, it's a fucking dirty game because not us, but we, in the general sense, are the pawns in that. And
we're the ones that are going to die.
Yeah.
Like, if this happens.
Yeah, we're the ones that get fucked.
And, like, the Argentina one really throws a fucking
wrench
into the system because Argentina and what's the other one down there that's aligned with China and Russia? Brazil.
Well, Brazil is huge, by the way. Yeah. Brazil is a big part of
it's a big land mass, but it's not as many people.
It's not as populated, but I'm just saying it's a huge fucking chunk of South America. South America wouldn't be no offense to South America, but they're not our strongest. That wouldn't make or break any war.
Right. But we can't lose all of South America.
Correct.
Because then they could just move north.
Yeah, I mean, seeing everything that's going on, especially with this currency stuff, that's the stuff that's really, because if they start fucking devaluing it and the way that our economy is right now, like you said, shit can get kind of spooky here soon.
Well, that's my question is why China's doing it. Like, it benefits China to have, we're the biggest buyer
from them, yeah,
of everything, not just textiles and stuff like that, but like I said, opium, drugs. Like we get a lot of our stuff from China.
Could be our debt though.
We have a huge debt to them, but we eventually they're gonna need our money, and we're gonna need what they have. So
I like money. Yeah. I mean, essentially, that's what it comes down to. It is a money thing. It is a power thing. Someone is on a power trip, and they're having a pissing contest with each other.
It basically is what it is because, I mean, the U.S. has been the world's currency for the past almost 70 years. I think it's since the 1940s.
The largest currency, you mean?
Well, it's the official currency for world trading.
Yes.
So not everybody's currency, but
it gets translated to the dollar.
Just correct. For world's trading since 1944, it's been the shit. Boom.
Yeah,
U.S. dollar.
World War II, we did that shit.
But that also has impacted us in our influence. Like the U.S. can go into another country and be like, hey, no, you're not going to be doing this anymore.
Or your dollar is zero.
Yeah, or you're fucked. Correct. So
look at what
on our foreign policy goals and shit that we've accomplished as a country is because we knew we're big brother here. We go into anywhere and we're like, hey, now you better relax. You want any money? Huh?
You want to be Greece?
So
take away your allowance, pretty much.
So
remember Greece?
Try to do their own thing.
A European Union pulled the cord on them, bankrupted their entire fucking country in a day, like a 1929 black market, crash.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Granted, it is spooky hours, but even if everybody does, say they do, all these other countries are say, fuck it, let's team up and fuck the U.S., fuck the dollar. It would definitely hurt us. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but there's ways around it to where, even in our stock market, there's still certain companies that if you invest in U.S. money regardless, once they're, they have places in China or India, we'd still be making money off of it. I was reading this thing about Apple, for instance. Apple stock. Mm-hmm. If you have a bunch of Apple stock, you're good because regardless of what happens, Apple has big factories in China. It's making a massive factory in India. So it's your money is still, going into something.
Yeah.
But yes, very spooky. We need to talk to Zach about some stocks.
Well, also
start fucking getting ready, preparing ourselves.
Also, Apple is like they're so smart and they're so developed at this point. They're liquid in a lot of places, and then they have traded that for whatever like is the big thing at the time. Like the value of gold has gone down, obviously, but like whatever it has the biggest money to thing, Apple's done a good job of always aligning itself with whatever the next big thing is. A lot of this has spawned like the crypto thing as well, because the fear of like when the U.S. banks fail, which they inevitably will, there'll be a day where it's going to fail, and it'll probably bounce back, but for that time, it's going to be rough on people. People like we're looking at cryptocurrency as like, well, it's it's offshore, it's not American. The money will technically be right. The problem is it's so hard to pull money in and out of cryptocurrency. It just the structure isn't there for it to be a viable option for the world.
Question:
Damn.
If say the U.S.
I just
say
had
all
a
these
fucking political fucking overload right now.
we went down the rabbit hole and now
we're here now, guys.
Spinning.
Hey,
we're just
fuck it.
spinning around. Question: do you guys think if the U.S. does go to war with China, for example, or Russia, or both, do you think there'll be a draft?
Guess it depends how deep the war is. I mean, if it's just
how quick it goes good or bad.
Yeah, I mean, because initially, I mean, a lot of war stuff now is just drones and missile strikes. It's not really like hand-to-hand combat like it was like even fucking 20, 30 years ago. Like,
I don't think we missed the good old days.
It's not like that, but like if it gets to that point where people start invading
Boots on the
countries,
ground.
Yeah, I'm talking Game of Thrones, fucking frontline.
But the thing is, the benefit that we have is that we don't have it takes a lot of manpower for either Russia or China to get over here and try to invade over here.
The West Coast is their best, the fastest point.
Yeah,
and Japan
did it one time, and then
and Japan, with how much we've patched things up since the Obama administration, like because that was like a big thing for Barack was to make the Japan relationship a lot better because they're the closest neighbors to our biggest threat.
So I mean, that's the one thing that we have that like it's going to be very hard to invade us to get to the point where we're going to have to get a draft. They don't
have sorry to cut you off. To go off on that point to make it clear for any listener that doesn't fully understand. Like China has the space station, which is is government owned. They have China, and they have Hong Kong, and they have certain places with military bases. There are permanent U.S. military bases all over the planet. Yeah. Every country we've ever invaded outside of I think Vietnam, there's a permanent military base. Yeah. Like if we want to get soldiers in and out of certain countries all across the planet, we can do it. So we're more set up for a World War III type of boots on the ground information.
We'd get information quicker to us and quicker back.
But yeah, I mean, it would take a lot for like for that to go bad that
we'd have to fuck it up.
People would have to fucking like countries would have to like align with each other and fucking really like we're attacking these stations across the world and really fuck some shit up.
Just came straight to Florida. That was all us against them.
But there would have to be so much fucking cooperation amongst countries and shit like that.
And by that, the intelligence agencies would probably be on it. When you're hard to keep a secret in that many people.
Yeah. So I mean,
plus we would see it come. I mean, luckily we are in Florida, so I mean,
we also have the space station. Another thing that
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, again, it would have to get really bad for a draft. I think at this point, with the way technology is, I don't think it would have one. But like, again, you can't take it. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, the last draft was Vietnam. Our only draft.
I think so. Yeah. No, didn't they drafted for World Wars? No.
Oh.
Maybe.
I know Vietnam is the one because there were draft
protest.
dodgers and protests.
I know there was definitely a draft for that.
The shooting at Kent State and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was fucked up. But yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a different warfare is much different.
If there was a draft, how do you think feminism stacks up to
it?
This is gonna sound ignorant. I don't know.
We'll see you later when you come back.
Do 18-year-old females sign a draft card? I'm asking an ignorant question. I know. I don't know the answer though.
I don't know. I don't think so, honestly. But I
like because when I turned 18, I had to fill my draft card out. Like,
so I don't know that. It's a good question for the good old Googs.
Yeah, let's find out from the Google machine. Do females have to fill out a draft card?
Because I mean, not to be like that guy. Sorry, ladies. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to war and things like that, the first people they always protect are women and children.
There have been no decision to require females
just women have never been subject to selective service. Registration or military
for
draft.
Instance, that's one thing, like, as men, you know, that we...
Also, we're out of the age. We wouldn't be drafted.
Well, yeah, now, I feel like we'd be fine now. Well, that's the thing.
18 to 25.
That's the thing. I thought the same thing before I asked the question. Plus, I was like, we're all like the only men in our family as well. Yeah. So I mean, that's usually they got out of it.
How far would it have to go for you guys to openly enlist, like voluntarily enlist? Because I was we were all kids, but 9/11 happened, and you saw a big surge.
Yeah, a lot of people felt. I mean, I guess that's what it would take, an attack on, where you feel like your home is in danger.
Because that probably most importantly, and the patriotism aspect of it, like. I love, the country that I live in as much as I make fun of the certain people that live in it, and the way we do things. Like, it is a great blessing to live in this country. Yeah. And if that is at risk, at what point do you try and, all right, I'll donate my services and I'll be signed up as an expendable asset? And
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I guess, the simple answer is, once you feel like your home is in danger, once you feel like your family, your loved ones are really at risk and in danger, that's when you start kind of, that selfless mindset of, it's not about me anymore. It's about the bigger picture. That's when that kind of, mentality kicks in. But again, unless like Canada and Mexico start fucking colluding against us and start really fucking trying to do their own thing.
Which they will never.
Exactly. So, it that possibility just does kind of seem just far-fetched because of just the geography of where we're at. It's hard for other countries to fly over here. Like the countries that would be a threat to us.
It would have to be nuclear.
Yeah. And at that point, it's like, well, I can't really
can't
fight against that.
Yeah, we're all dead anyway.
Yeah, it's like I can't fight against a nuclear bomb.
Like we have stuff to disarm nuclear weapons in the air, but still.
Yeah,
you fire enough, one's going to land.
People are getting fucked up. But I don't think anyone wants to go to that because, I mean, we saw what happened the last time. And, I mean, Russia was one of the first people also. It was recently when, like, they did enter the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
They were like, we're not going to.
It's not going to be nuclear warfare.
Yeah. Like, all countries are still like, let's not go that
Yeah, this
far.
is like the lead.
Like, I'm going to take this country. But we're not going to go that
Yeah,
far.
it's boots on the ground. We're doing this old... Putin was like, we're taking
doing this
way
old
back.
school. We're doing it old school. We're not fucking dropping a fucking nuke on them.
Yeah, but I mean...
Because that fucks up everybody. It's like...
nobody wins.
You're fucking up the entire world.
Yeah,
like,
we won... It takes that one crazy person to not give a fuck.
Well, that was always the fear with North Korea. It was like, they don't give a fuck. Mm. Like, they're so brainwashed as a country that they think that their leader doesn't poop. Like... Of course they're fucking crazy enough to fucking kill all of us.
Yeah, so I mean, again, with the way that shit is now, the way that, people can get into power and go money hungry, go crazy for power, like it really, I feel like we're closer to that than we are to, signing, like having a draft for a war, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's, fucking saying that out loud is like, oh shit, but like, given everything that we've just talked about up until this point, like, people are ready, go to that extreme. Get my point across. Who cares if it kills millions of people?
I would like to hope the calmer heads in the room will prevail. That it will be like, all right, let's not do that.
But if you think about it, that's calm heads don't get you to the top. It's the fucking radical crazy person.
No, but I mean like when the real power players,
familiar.
The real power players. That when they all sit in a room, like if it becomes to the point where it's like, all right, Cold War, everyone's got fingers on the button of the nukes, like sit down, China's leadership, America's leadership, maybe a couple other countries. I would like to think that those smart people in the room would be like, all right, let's not
You'd think, but like this.
I'm talking about real power players. I'm not talking about like the president. I'm talking about the people who really make that fucking decision.
Yeah, the people who really run the
Let's
country.
be honest. Like George Bush was the president, but Dick Cheney fucking decided what's what.
Yeah.
The Secretary of War, the Secretary of Defense, like Colin Powell, like those people, like you put those motherfuckers in a room and you find out for real what's what.
And I mean, even
I can't imagine that power.
I'm not gonna say conspiracy theories for the 18th time this episode, but another thing,
they're fun. Conspiracy
you find out also who's really running the world. I mean, there's a lot of different people you do not know about way back behind the scenes running the world.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Strings, yeah.
I'm talking about like, and those are the most famous ones. Like people know Dick Cheney because as the war played out, people realized that like this was a Dick Cheney doing. Like that George really didn't. He had to say he's the president of the United States, but he was, he had that guy whispering in his ear who was. And then like LBJ was the famous, he was the ultimate deal maker when he was the king of the Senate. Before he was the vice president, before he was the president, that was what he was known as, the ultimate deal maker, the master of the Senate. Becomes president, Vietnam War, like those are the people that really run shit out there. There's probably not 10 of those people in the world. I'm
talking more of like all of the money.
That's what I think those are the people that are going to really say what's what.
Those correct. I feel like
I think at that meeting,
the people
at that meeting will be Elon Musk, Bezos, the billionaires we don't even know, the Saudi oil.
Yeah, but those we're talking about billionaires. There's trillionaire families
like the Emirates
that no one even knows about.
That's the scariest part. If you've ever seen 2012, I'm sorry, 2012 when they're building the Ark, the Noah's Ark, that the metaphor like.
The ships that survive.
Got it, movie. Yeah. But when they show the people getting on, it's all those oil, like they're no name people just getting on those things. And it's like, maybe the president, but it's like really the people behind the president that are really, the ones talking in those rooms.
Yeah, I feel like that would be. I mean,
the Emirates would be safe. They're the trillionaires that would sit down in that room and
it'd be like the maybe 10 countries that were going to be involved. Those they're smart people, or like maybe they're other leaders, maybe not the presidents themselves, but then it'd be
Biden's not going to that meeting.
But then it'd be like those.
I mean, he'd be there, but we're not letting him fucking talk.
It'd be those it'd be those rich families really coming together and be like, listen, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna give them this. You're gonna give them this. We're gonna go back.
There's a family right now. This might be a conspiracy. There's a family right now that could pay off America's debt right now.
Oh, for sure. Those oil tycoons. That's
what I'm saying.
There's not regulated money. I mean, there's no government.
That's why over there, Abu Dhabi, like all of that is like where you want to be now, because you look at this like monolithic tower that they have. They built. It's $1 trillion building or whatever the fuck it is, and they sprung it up in like a 2-year span. They're like, fuck it, we're putting it right here.
Yeah.
Like they just have unlimited oil money.
And they again, there's no like government there, so they're running shit. What they say goes.
They walk around with fucking AR-15s, and nobody would ever fucking say shit to them. That's the scary part.
That's power for you. Shit.
Those were be the motherfuckers sitting at that table.
Man, oh man. Really makes
and
it feel
like when
small and insignificant.
See, like I would love to like Google something like
Imagine
that.
Imagine being a fly on the wall in that room.
Damn well, like you try to Google it, that you ain't getting that information.
No, that's not out there.
Have you ever? That's not Googleable information.
This is going to be a funny reference. Do you guys remember Call of Duty: World at War?
That was the first.
I love the ones that they are showing though. Like when you do Google the 5 richest families, they're giving you like bullshit ass numbers. And like a couple different families.
Google don't know that shit.
One of them's in like the 500 billions of like family worth.
Yeah,
but
way more money.
We know that there's trillionaire families.
Yeah.
But I was saying I think it's World at War. The end of the game, it's the Cold War, and you see them all sitting down in that room. It's Fidel Castro, JFK.
Yeah.
All those people are just having a cigar, smoking, like talking, like, all right, you don't like us, we don't like you, type of thing. Like, I wonder how much that actually happens. Like, the leaders of these countries probably don't hate each other. They're probably around each other and unfortunately talk to each other so much. They're probably essentially golf buddies.
Yeah.
Like, Putin and Trump, everyone got so mad that they were kind of, not friends, but they were friendly with each other and they could joke around. Like,
I mean, you build
that's
rapport,
not shocking.
You
to
build
me
rapport with people, like
rapport, and
that helps with the relation. We don't want to hate everybody.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I feel like also at that point it was more of like a Trump, like, hey, don't try no funny shit. I'm not the one to fuck with. And Putin the same way. Like they had that mutual.
It was an
agreement.
understanding.
It's
like,
a fucking sizing
right,
up. It's sizing each other
correct.
up and shit.
It's not like, oh, we're best friends. It's more like, hey, now. And they're both looking at each other like,
we're cool. Let's keep it this way.
Yeah.
Let's keep it cool.
And I feel like and not to, political views aside, like nothing against Trump, nothing against Joe Biden, but like in that meeting of people,
Yeah.
you could definitely tell like other countries are going to feel differently towards both.
Yeah.
Like Trump, like we've said plenty of times, was a walking meme, but he also was someone who was very uncandid, said whatever the fuck he wanted to say.
There was definitely some
whenever the
countries
fuck he
that
wanted to
feared
say.
Trump that definitely
Yeah,
was like,
because they were scared that he might be the one that's crazy enough to
and
press
there were
that
some
button.
countries that were like, this guy's a fucking clown.
Right.
This is a joke.
And then vice versa. Now
It's like the same thing. I'm
they
sure.
think they might think, oh, Joe Biden is soft, but then like we were saying, Joe's not necessarily the one running.
Yeah,
it's
who's
the
he
people
got
behind him.
with the finger on the trigger?
Yeah, he's the face of the country, but he ain't running.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, to your point, who's got the finger ready to who's itching?
That's the best scene. Have you guys ever seen Vice?
Mm-mm.
The movie about Dick Cheney. Christian Bale plays him.
I haven't, but I heard
watch
Christian
it.
Bale was amazing.
He's phenomenal. And you see the Iraqi war when it's go time, like it's the night of, and he's the one on the call. They have the speakerphone, the three-way call, and he's calling in, and he's like, "You have the green light to blah 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 blah," and you like see everyone else in the room is just like we're going to war, like silent in the room, and he's the one that ultimately makes the call to fucking blow up their Capitol building.
Bio. Damn, son.
Or their White House, I mean, not their Capitol. But.
Oh man, makes me
I love that shit.
I can relax. I don't have to make those type of decisions. Like
Eric's just chilling.
I would. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the power that those people walk around like feeling like they have? No wonder these people thought that they can get away with everything.
you're fucking walking around with your dick in your hand, just doing whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Fuck it. What are you gonna tell me? What the fuck are you gonna tell me? Not shit.
Yeah.
So shut up. Go fucking make me a sandwich. And I'm gonna go do whatever the fuck I want to do.
After I call and start another war.
Like,
I'm hungry. I've built up an appetite fucking up these other countries.
Jesus.
Like, I've called for 3 strikes today.
fuck.
Where's my dinner?
What do we got next, guys?